excited to talk with you. You're a dancer, so we are of the same background. I was a dancer for many years. My major was dance production. So hearing your story and then knowing that you're a dancer and hearing about your dance center, I was so excited to interview you.
Yay!
So
Thank you.
let's get started. So welcome everyone. Today we are talking with Drea Kelly, dancer and choreographer extraordinaire, domestic violence advocate, all about her journey of healing and how she helps other women, and of course how dance is influencing this all. So I want to start with you. How has dance shaped your life?
I think the dance chose me. I honestly do. My mother was a dancer. My aunt, my mom's sister was a dancer. My grandmother was a dancer. And my parents said that's the first thing I did. I went from scooting. I didn't do much crawling. They said one day Soul Train was on. I just stood up and started dancing. And they said it wasn't like, you know how some kids dance and you like, okay, baby, that's cute. My parents said you was getting it. Soul Train was on. And my dad said they went to commercial and I put my hands up on the TV like poster guys and said, more. And they said they knew from that moment I was going to dance at something with the stage. But dance is just that thing. It's my happy place. Like I said, I feel like it chose me. Okay. It's a place where, you know, as actors, like I'm an actress, but you get to use words and your facial expressions to evoke emotion. As dancers, I have to tell you this story with just my body. And you have to understand if it's a happy story, if it's a sad story, what emotion, am I elated, like freedom, restraint, like all of these things we express through our bodies. And to go through trauma, people don't realize you hold a lot of trauma in your body.
Yes.
So dance is definitely a way to release. Dance was also my savior. I said when I was a little girl, I was about 6 years old. And the first time I ever saw a man beat a woman was my grandfather. And he was a Baptist preacher. So God, love, and pain were all one to me at a very young age. And the irony is the way to escape that moment, sitting on the stairs, watching my grandfather beat my grandmother, was my mind kept going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it was something about that 5, 6, 7, 8 that I kind of disappeared into like this dance world, a dance studio. It has always been my place of serenity. Even in the midst of going through the abuse, I would close my eyes and just envision dancing. Dance, it's always been my thing. And then I just think too, one day, like this is one story that I've shared with you that I've probably never shared with many people.
Okay.
I had a dream about dancing with Bob Fosse. And people think, you know, as a Black dancer, like, oh, it's Ailey, it's Graham, it's, you know, it's, for me, Bob Fosse jazz is like my thing. And when I had that dream and he's in my dreams, like, you've got it, kid, you've got it. And we're in the studio,
awesome.
We're dancing. I'm like, yeah, dance chose me. So I just couldn't imagine my life without it.
Okay, so dancing is your haven. Dancing is your haven during difficult times.
Dancing is my haven during difficult times. And it's, you know, it's my haven even during the joyful times. It's like, it's my place of serenity. When I'm like, I dance every single day, some shape, form, or fashion, in my house, at the grocery store, outside cooking. I dance every day.
It's in your kitchen while you're cooking dinner.
Yes.
You got a little 8 count in between flipping the chicken.
Yes. Like when I'm in my kitchen, everybody's like, she is truly like, I'm in there getting it. Like, yes, I'm living my best life. Yes.
Doing a pirouette with this spatula, getting grease everywhere. I've done that before. So.
Yeah, so you know, dancer to dancer. It's like there's nowhere we won't dance. I don't care if I'm in the grocery store, if I hear my song, move your carts, here she come down aisle 9. It's happening.
I understand.
I don't go to the club to sit and be pretty and take selfies in the dark. I'm getting it, sweating out my baby hair. Like from the time I walk in to the DJ, like last call for alcohol. I'm like, last chance. Dance, honey.
Thank you. Yes. Like, even when you're sitting working, like, oh, come on, okay, I'm typing, I'm grooving in the chair. I'm always in constant motion. So I completely understand that vibe. Let's talk about your healing journey a little bit. And you reported suffering from PTSD, but I was wondering, what healing modalities have you used to deal with your to facilitate your own healing?
Well, like we said, if it's not dance, definitely meditation and breathing and relaxing. And a lot of people, they say, well, meditate, relax, you got to breathe, but nobody ever tells us, what does that look like? How am I supposed to do it? I like to say that I believe the last deep breath that I ever took in life was at 6 years old.
Okay.
And people don't realize that, because from the moment I witnessed my grandfather abusing my grandmother, the first thing you go is, and I feel like that was the last deep breath I ever took at 6 years old, because from that point on, trauma has been introduced into your life. And I don't think people think of it that way. Go back to your childhood and think of the last deep breath you took.
Mm-hmm.
It could either be seeing your mom being abused, if it was you were evicted from your home and you had to leave all of your toys as a child. We have to go back to that moment when we were like, what happened? What is this? I don't understand what's going on. So just teaching people to go back and release that breath that you've been holding since that age, and blow it out, push it out, release it. And sometimes it's the sound of the release. And people don't realize, we think that we're breathing because we're just like, we're doing that shallow breathing from up here. Mm-hmm. You have to get to your diaphragm and release everything that you've been holding. Yeah, it's like when you watch babies, when they sleep and their bellies rise and fall as they're sleeping, that is deep breathing. As humans, as adults, we don't do that. We're up here in that shallow breathing because we're thinking, my job, my kids, my work, the bills, Corona, what am I do? The pandemic, can't go outside, lost my... We're doing that shallow breathing all the time. So I think we have to break down what breathing even looks like. For me, meditation isn't always namaste, downward dog, and burning sage and Palo Santo. Sometimes it's, girl, don't go off. Girl, do not pick up that phone and call nobody. Or do not cuss them out. People don't realize that's a form of meditation too. Like sometimes you got to talk yourself like, oh, don't be the Southside girl. Just don't be the Southside girl right now. Like that is a form of meditation, because I think healing has such a fake definition that people think if you don't cry over it anymore, you've healed. Yeah. If it doesn't trigger you anymore, you've healed. And I think that healed should come out of our vocabulary, and we should use the word healing, because we're ever evolving, ever changing. So that means we're forever healing. Yeah. And that is a process that what affects me at 40, I don't know if it's going to affect me at 50, but I know what affected me at 20 doesn't affect me at 40, because I've grown and I've evolved. So that means that that healing is going to go on forever. So reminding myself that I'm always healing. Take that deep breath. Remember, when's the last time I took that deep breath? Dancing and moving. And I don't care if it's just my shoulders. Get something moving so that blood is pumping and I'm taking in oxygen and you're releasing those happy hormones, whatever that is for you. And being okay with being soft with myself. Unconditional love starts with us first. And we don't realize it, especially as women. We believe it's for our children, it's for our parents, because we have to forgive them. They did what they knew how to do. It's our spouse, so we got to forgive them because how they grew up and what they went through. But nobody ever tells us that unconditional love starts with, you know what, Drea, it's okay that you didn't know better. Mm-hmm. It's okay that you fell in love with somebody that ultimately became your abuser, because guess what? We're all trees. We're branch, leaf, fruit, root. And what was at the root of your tree was abuse. That was a seed planted by your grandfather. So you can't be surprised that you bear the fruit of an abusive relationship. That's what you know. But it's okay. And now that you know better, you will do better. That is unconditional love. Then like, it's okay. Unconditional love means, guess what? Even if I end up in another abusive relationship, which I can't control, I only know the person that they present to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But should they end up being abusive, unconditional love means it's okay that it happened again, but you didn't stay as long. It's okay that you ended up with that same man, but now you know the signs, you left a lot sooner. Mm-hmm. That's unconditional love. So having unconditional love for yourself.
Growth. That's growth.
And that's growth. And growth hurts.
Evolution. Oh, does it? They don't.
It hurts.
Nothing.
It like your crown might be tilted sometimes during growth. People think that growth means, oh, I've grown because it doesn't bother me. No, I'm growing and I'm still laying in this bed with my lace front crooked, mascara pouring, ain't shaved under my arms in 2 weeks, but I'm still growing. You know, growing, I don't know where we came up with this. Growing is pretty, is cute, and we're not going to cry. We're going to do all those things while we're growing. And that's why I say growing and healing. That's what it is. Like, quit giving people this idea that it's pretty and namaste and you've arrived and you're over it. Guess what? Every time my dead uncle's birthday comes around, who molested me, I still get triggered, even though he's dead and gone. That doesn't mean I'm not healing.
Mm.
Stop.
It's acknowledging it, accepting it.
Yeah.
You know, learning from it, moving on from it, but not forgetting your lessons. Because in every adverse situation, there's a lesson to be learned. So if you take that and stay positive, which you've done, you've made an amazing life for yourself. You know, it. I think that healing. Yes, you're right. It's not a destination that we arrive at.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you can hope that one day this won't trigger me. But you know what? If it does, that's okay. I recognize it and I can still move forward. I can still be positive. I still love myself.
Yeah.
You know, I still realize that I'm an amazing woman. You know, and I think that's the key. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't get. It's like they don't get what healing is supposed to look like. They think it's, you know, everybody has a predestined, not predestined, a, oh my God, I can't think of the word right now, but you know, a preset definition of what healing is supposed to look like.
Well, that's because we're not given the freedom.
And it looks different for everyone.
Yes.
Healing for you may not be healing for me. What works to heal you may not work to heal me. And everybody has to find their own path to healing, I think.
But that's because we're not allowed to give ourselves our own definition. How many times have we heard, oh, that happened when you was a little girl. You should be over that by now. Well, that happened to me and that don't bother me. That's great. But healing is, the simplicity of healing is like that of eating. This is what I say. Just, I'm a vegan. But just because I don't like meat, I don't like the smell of it, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way it tastes, does that mean that you shouldn't? If that's what's right for you, then if that's what works for you, if eating meat works for you, I have my reasons, you have yours. Healing is that simple. Just because you're saying it doesn't affect you at that age is not the same for me. Mm-hmm. Just because, and what people need to realize too is sometimes they think that they've healed and they're just avoiding.
Yeah.
So then they project that on us. Well, that don't bother me, because no, it bothers you, but you choose to pretend it's not there. Me, I'm realistic. When the elephant's in the room, hey, Allie, what's up? I see you today. So let's not pretend. And I think if people were allowed to do that and not told that that trigger means you're not over it, you're never going to get over it. I say that it's like pain. If you go to the doctor and you're in intense pain, and they give you pain medicine, they say, we just want to get you comfortable. The nurse wants to get you comfortable before the doctor comes in here. Mm-hmm. And the doctor comes in and he says, how are you feeling? When you came in the emergency room, it was probably a 10. After they gave you that good old volume or that drip, that morphine drip, that's about a 4 or 5. What's the only thing that didn't change? The source of the pain never went away. It was the intensity of the pain. And people need to realize that about trauma and life and healing. The source of the pain will never go away. I don't care if your abuser is dead and gone. I don't care if the abuser apologized. I don't care if the person that victimized you went to counseling. The source of the pain will never go away, but the intensity will dissipate when you do the healing, when you do the work, when you acknowledge it's painful, and you have to have your pain medicine. Mm-hmm. Your pain medicine is your meditation. Your pain medicine is reaching out to your loved ones and not isolating. Your pain medicine is being okay with saying, you know what, today wasn't a good day, and having love for myself and unconditional love for myself. You start to know when that pain starts to intensify, your pain medicine is wearing off, just like anything else in life. Like, hey, doc, starting to feel that pain again. I need some more pain medicine. Allow people to do the same for themselves, and we don't. What do we like to say? Well, honey, you living in the past. No, the past is living with me. I'm not living in the past. And once I accept that it's a part of me, now I'm on to something.
There you go. There you go. So what role did dance play in your healing journey?
Oh, like I said, dance was life-saving. Life-saving. I knew I was at rock bottom at two places in my life. Mm-hmm. When my abuser told me I would no longer dance, that I had to choose. Either you're going to be a wife and a mother or a dancer. You need to choose. Well, the irony in that is that's how you met me, being your dancer and your choreographer. So go figure. And when I no longer wanted to, that point where I was like, I don't even want to dance anymore. I don't want to do. That was my rock bottom, because for me, dance was every day, all day. It doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing. And that's when I knew that person starting to change me. when my passion, my love, my gift is no longer important, slowly they're etching away and changing me. And I'm becoming somebody that I was never put on this earth to be. And it's funny that you use the word lesson, that we had to learn a lesson. And all the time you hear people say, oh, well, you can't have a testimony without a test. Oh, Lord, you can't have a message without some mess. People don't realize you don't get the lesson until you have less, until you're living a life less than what God called you to be. You haven't learned your lesson. Until you're getting back less than you're putting into a relationship, you haven't learned your lesson. Until you're doing less for yourself and more for others, you haven't learned your lesson. And when you realize how important that little 4-letter word is to your healing and loving yourself and learning the lesson, like, oh, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was willing to give up dance and be less than I was called to be because somebody wanted me to dim my light for them to shine brighter. Oh, there's the lesson. Never dim your light for somebody else to shine brighter. So for me, dance was that thing that was like, ma'am, hello. I chose you. You don't get to leave me. Like, we're in the marriage. This is death till we do we part, ma'am. So yeah, it was getting back to dance that I found myself.
That is a wonderful, wonderful journey. I mean, just being a dancer, knowing how much I love dance. I love expressing myself through dance. Even when you're like, you have a sad dance, you have a happy dance, you have a I'm pissed the F off dance. You go through that. And some days you can't even verbalize what's wrong with you, but you can dance.
Yeah.
There have been times that I couldn't even verbalize what I'm going through to anyone. Not even to myself, not even writing in my journal could I verbalize the words and write it down, but play that song. And I could tell you everything that's wrong with me. And by the time I'm done, I'll be bawling, crying, but I feel a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's those expressions physically that you just verbally cannot express. There are not enough words. Like you said, turn that music on and that release is unbelievable. That's why I believe that I don't care. You don't have to be a professional dancer. That's why my studio and dancing and teaching dance is so important for me, especially for the healing of women. You don't have to be an A-Leigh dancer. You don't have to be a rockette. Like, you don't have to be a part of the Joffrey movement. Yes. And just releasing the emotion and being one and feeling that drum beat in your heartbeat and that thing that's in your gut that's like, I gotta let this go. It's really a birthing of something. It really, really is, good or bad. So if people could just get that movement, dance, and if you're not a dancer, if that word scares you, because I know a lot of time when people hear the word dancer, they go, I'm not trained, I'm not this, I don't know ballet, I don't know jazz. Replace it with movement. Spiritual expression, physical spiritual expression. If you can use that, it will get people up to move, because that is a scary word sometimes, because me and you are dancers. So
yes.
We know.
Even exercise. So my clients, I start talking to them about exercise and they go, and I'm like, okay, wait, let me rephrase that. Movement. Let's come up with a movement program for you. I don't care if you walk. I don't care if you have a 10-minute dance party in your living room. Just get up off the couch and move your body in some way. Yes. You can move it to a beat. You can move it to the beat in your head. Just walk up and down the stairs, walk down the street, walk your dog. Just get up and move yourself. And it makes you feel so much better.
It does.
It does. So I understand you have a really innovative fitness and dance center called Leg Days.
Yeah, so Leg Days, I partnered with a great, great, great friend of mine, Ramisi Long. So Leg Days, it's actually a private fitness club. So during COVID and everything, we yay, thank you God. But being able to teach a sexercise class, and a lot of people go, sexercise, oh God, what is that? Well, it's just one of the classes that I teach for women, because here's the thing. So many women, we have been nude in front of men, but we've never been naked in front of them. Mm-hmm. And women don't know the difference. Mm-hmm. You can be nude, take off your clothes, show your breasts, show your butt, but are you naked? Do they really get to see that goddess warrior that is sitting on the inside? Like, oh God, no, my cellulite. Oh God, okay, switch angles, because I know you can see these stretch marks. I cut the lights up. When you are naked in front of a person, you get to see the good, bad, the ugly, my highs, my lows, the things that I love, the things that I'm insecure about. but it makes me who I am. And either you're going to accept it or you're not. But what better way to do that during my sexercise class? Because I feel like unless you are comfortable in your own skin and you can have intimate moments with yourself, how can you have it with somebody else? And we misconstrue intimacy as sex. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say intimate moments with yourself, it's about getting in the mirror and moving your body in a way that you feel sexy, that you feel sensual, that you feel like a goddess, that you feel beautiful. Most women don't do that. During the day, we're everything but a woman. We the baby maker, the order taker, the cook, the chef, the driver, the accountant, the hairdresser. We're all these things. The maid. We're everything except a woman at the end of the day. And then by the time the end of the day comes, there's no time to be a woman. Now it's time to go to bed and get up and do it all over again. So sexercise really is about great sex starts with you. That is the most intimate thing you can share with another person. We always teach that it is the most intimate thing you can share with yourself. Yes. Because in these sexual acts, I'm not even present. Why? Because I'm not even naked in front of you. I'm nude. I'm insecure. I'm hiding. I'm wondering if jiggling, did this look right? Oh, I don't want him to do that. But if I say something, oh, I like him to do that. But if I do, then that means he might think I'm a hoe. You have all these things going on in your head. You're not even enjoying the act. So let's get away from the act and get into the intimacy. So yes, that's what I teach at Leg Days. My class, we start with just walking. This class is intense. I mean, you are sweating bullets walking. Why? Just because I was born with breast and vagina don't mean I know how to walk in heels. That's something you learn. Being a woman is something that is learned. It's not something that I innately know how to do. Why do we give men excuses and a pass for it? Oh, well, you got to learn to be a father. You have a man in your life to teach you to be a father. But as women, we're supposed to know how to be the mother, the lover, the wife, the cook, sexy, sensual.
We're supposed to come all just prepared.
Yes. Yes. So that's why my class, having my studio at Leg Days, women can come be around other women, no judgment. I mean, I have young to old. I have mother and daughters come. I have grandmothers take my class, aunts. Like when I say this class is so dope, and it's the one time I hear things like, girl, I haven't worn heels since I went to prom. Women like, girl, I don't have time to be sexy. I'm like, clutch your pearls, honey.
What?
You can find sexy time in the shower. You can find sexy time putting your lotion on. How do you do that if you don't even have an example? Their mothers didn't do it. Their grandmothers definitely didn't do it. So my fitness regime is more than just, oh, we're getting here wiggling and jiggling and moving. It really is about getting in tune with that inner goddess.
And do you teach your master classes around the country?
I do. The girl will travel. If you can't come to me, she will come to you. Yes, I do. I travel with my classes. I will tell you, one of the places, though, that I have the best time, I don't know what it is when I go to Kansas. I don't know what it is. Like Kansas turns up. They show up and show out. I don't know what it is. That is like, I don't know. That is the place that I go, and that's like I go recharge my battery. Then I go teach classes everywhere else. But yes, I do travel. Soon we'll be starting online classes because, with the pandemic, when everything shut down and it was kind of like people was too scared to come out. And so now you can go to my website and we'll be doing online classes. But now that we're opening back up, I'll go back to traveling and touring again.
I do hope you'll come to LA and teach.
Oh, yeah, I've done a class at the basement.
I will show up.
Yes, well, I did a class at the basement for my birthday.
Okay.
And it was probably 3 years ago now when I say we had the time of our lives taking that class. Like if you go on my Instagram, you'll see some footage from those classes. But definitely, like, I'm ready to make my rounds again and come back. And especially because of us coming out of this pandemic and dealing with COVID, and women were locked in, and especially survivors of domestic violence and women that were just in volatile situations. Where were you going? There was nowhere to go. No. Shelters were really not accepting people because of the regulations. Police really weren't showing up unless it was life-threatening. And I feel like anytime any woman is in any abusive situation, it's life-threatening. But we'll talk about that on another interview. So being able to make those rounds again so that the women can get out and really recharge their batteries, I cannot wait.
I'm excited. So I just want to hear you're coming to LA.
Yeah, well, you will be the first, ma'am, first on the list. Yes, you can come.
Next time I'm in Atlanta, I am coming to your dance studio.
Yay, yes.
How does being an advocate for domestic violence facilitate your own continued healing?
Just knowing you're not alone.
Okay.
I don't know any other way to say it, just knowing you're not alone and knowing that there are other women out there who share your story and you don't even, it's kind of like, when you go to a family reunion and everybody tells that one story about grandpa, but everybody has a piece to add into that story. That's what it feels like. It's like you're amongst your tribe of women that they get it without judgment. They're not sitting asking, well, why didn't you leave? Or why would you stay? Well, honey, that'll never be me. Sidebar. Some of the people who are so quick to say that it'll never be them don't even realize they're already in it. They don't realize that the physical is the aftermath of all the other abuse you've already been in. If you're in the physical stages of it, 9 times out of 10, you've already been in the emotional. You've already been in the mental and psychological. You've already been in the sexual. You've already been in the financial and economic abuse. And now you're in the physical parts of it, because some people think that volatile relationships and arguing and fussing and fight. Well, I mean, he grabbed my arm, but he ain't never hit me. They don't even realize it's already into the physical parts of it. So they're quick to say, oh, that'll never be me. Well, sweetheart, check your never be me email. You're already in it. So having women that understand that and know the process and the different phases of it, just being able to be a light for people to see my transparency. There's not a lot of people, and I hate this word, but celebrities that are willing to let you see the dark side of it because they want to keep up this facade that life is great and it's beautiful. No, Drea is never going to get up there and tell you, well, the darling time we went to Miami and the time we took a private jet to London. I mean, we had a little tiff, but it wasn't anything. No, knock down, drag them out. I thought I was going to die in the back of a Hummer. I'm going to tell you the real. But the problem with when it's a celebrity involved, you have a team of people that are willing to work to keep it quiet and covered up. Why? Because now it affects their pockets. It affects their record sales. It affects concert sales. It affects bookings. So no, we don't want you telling your story. And we're going to do whatever we need to do, not to protect you, but to protect our piece of the pie. Yes. So being able to share that with women that get it on a level, I don't care if your husband is the local doctor or the attorney or the teacher. The schools don't want you talking about it. Why? Because he's such a great teacher and everybody loves him here. And that's going to be a reflection on our school. So we need you to be quiet. So being able to be with women and sharing that story that they don't even realize that I am me and they are and I am them. That mine is just on a bigger scale because you have paparazzi and blogs and people want to interview and talk about it. But do you even realize you're going through it in your own way? And it's universal. And I don't think people realize that, like I said, even from the schools that don't want you talking about it or the practice that doctor works for. That's the last thing we need is somebody thinking that the doctor's an abuser. Well, thinking and knowing are two different things. So let's not discount that woman's story. Just being able to be in a safe place and know that I don't have to deal with victim shaming and victim blaming and knowing that it's not about the abuse, that it's about the healing. That's the greatest part for me, that it's not about telling this story to give gory details, because people that want their curiosity satisfied. They don't care about the journey and the healing. But people that want to know, how do you do that thing called life after coming out of abuse? They want to know about the healing. So being able to share that, man, I didn't think anything got greater than dance until I started working in my advocacy. And I was like, whoa.
You talk about empowering.
Yeah.
And just, in your opinion, how important is a self-care routine to one's mental health and to one's healing?
It's top tier, first on the priority list. I always say we have to look at ourselves as a gas tank. And if you're on E, everybody around you is getting fumes. Who can survive off fumes? Everybody's choking. You have to fill up your gas tank in order for you to even get to your destination and get on your journey and go after your dreams. So then that way your children can see their mother being a living example of going after their dreams. You will inspire somebody to go after their dreams and take care of themselves and put themselves first. So for the mental, if you don't take care of you, like I said, when your tank is on E, everybody's on fumes. You have nothing to give anybody. And it's important to not think that it's selfish to take care of you first.
That's the thing. That's what so many people don't understand. They think taking, and it's more than just going to get a mani and a pedi or a massage. I mean, getting good sleep, having some sort of movement practice. Notice I didn't say exercise. Eating good quality food when you need to eat. Not, I was so busy all day, I forgot to eat. No, that's not okay. And a lot of people don't get that. And I just did a self-care issue, and now I'm doing the mental health issue. And it's like it all ties in, because if you are going through depression, or you are suffering from some trauma, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not doing the healing, because you're too busy worrying about the outside, and it leaves you drained. And I think it even makes it harder for you to heal, harder for you to get past your trauma if you're not tending to it actively.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just sort of simmers there. And women lose weight, or they're emotional eating, or they engage in some other kind of self-destructive behavior. And we need to stop and tend to ourselves every day, not just once in a while. No, every day we need to stop and do something for ourselves. And you know I really wanted to hear your view on how that impacts your mental, or should I say, not taking care of yourself, how that impacts your mental health.
Well, you, like you said, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And I think that's first on the list with mental health and taking care of your is the word. It's two simple letters. N-O. No, 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 I'm not doing that today. No, I can't sit on the phone where you cry about this same man that you say you've been leaving for 22 times and you're not ready to do it. I would rather have the conversation on why you're not ready to leave than why you're staying. No, I'm not capable today. And I think that people need to learn the difference between when you're taking care of your mental health. There's a difference between no, I'm not capable, and no, I can't. No, I'm not capable to do that today because I'm not in a good place. I'm taking care of myself today. I need to fill my tank. So no, I'm not capable to do that. No, I can't. Most times that's a very selfish answer. No, I can't help you because you ain't helped me. That's very selfish. But when you say, no, I'm not capable, that's selfless. That's being honest with yourself and saying, today, mentally, I can't take on anything else because the load is too heavy. I have to put some things down first before I can pick something else up, or I'm not going to make it. So I know for me, not being able to say no, that was detrimental. And I think that it slowed my healing process down because I was one of those people that I was like, yes, 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 yes. But I did not realize until during the work and during the healing that came from the abuse. And this, if you're listening to this, for women who are in it right now, they'll understand, or they may not. And I hope that they do after I explain. Yes, 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 yes is not necessarily, yes, I want to do it. I'm saying yes, because now I have to choose between the emotional abuse or the physical abuse. So if I say yes, I just have to deal with the emotional part of not choosing myself, but that means I don't have to deal with the physical part of telling him no.
Yes.
So then you get into this, yes, 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 because I don't want to deal with the physical repercussions. So I'll just deal with the mental and emotional. So I'm constantly saying yes. So then you find yourself saying yes to your mama, yes to your daddy, yes to your friend, yes to the toxic friend, yes to the frenemy, yes to the boyfriend, yes to your kids, all because right now, I don't want to deal with this. So it's easier for me to just go past that whole thing and deal with it later. But then we don't realize constantly saying yes physically manifests headaches, backaches, hair loss, weight gain, not eating, overeating, not sleeping, oversleeping, insomnia. We don't realize that eventually that yes, those yeses. So be okay with no sometimes. Yes. And sometimes that no is a good old cute no. Can you do it, girl? No, I'm getting my hair done. No, I'm going shopping. No, I'm going to the movies by myself today. Sometimes it's got to be a cute no. Because if you don't put your
I'm just gonna
yes, no, I'm going to bed. And if it's not that, no, Netflix and chill with me and my dog. That's it. I don't need a dude. None of that. We have to be okay with that. Like, girl,
and we don't have to explain it either. It's just a no. I don't need to explain my no to you. It's just a no because I said no.
Yes, yes. And I love that you said that, and I hope whoever is watching, please. No is an explanation in and of itself. No. Done. And you know who are the best at doing that? We really need to mimic children. When you say, do you want to go sleep? No. You want a cookie? No. You want to go to mommy? No.
Ask them why. They don't have a reason. They just look at you.
Yes. Yes.
Like, no. Why not? No. But why? No. Okay, it's just no then.
And then guess what? And we leave them alone, don't we? You're like, okay, they're not in the mood. Just leave them alone. They don't want the cookie. Just leave them alone. They'll come get it when they want it. Why have we lost that as adults? If I said no, my no is no. It's a strong, firm no.
We have been programmed to say yes, to feel bad for saying no, or to feel like we have to explain because that's society's programming.
Because you're being selfish at that point. Because I didn't offer an explanation means I'm being selfish. No, what is selfish is not respecting my boundaries when I gave you my answer. That's what's selfish, because now you want to push me beyond my boundaries for your satisfaction. That is the most selfish thing you can do to a person.
You're telling
we have the opposite.
What you want is more important than what I need.
Yes.
And that is not acceptable.
Not. So yeah, me finding my no, my 2 little letters. Oh my God, that was that set me on my track, because I remember he was verbally abusive in front of my daughter. And that was my first no. She was sitting at the end of the bed looking at some photos. And he's like, what the F is this? So there was a guy, long and short of the story. There was a guy back then, we even call it photo bombing. You know, when people be in your photo and you see this one person like, who's that weirdo in our pictures? And this is back when you had to take film to be developed. I'm telling my age. It's not like iPhone. I don't like it. Delete it. Take another one. No, you have to take the film, and whatever picture you got is what you got. So there was a guy in the photo bombing us. And he's like, who the F is this? You know, I don't have men around you and my goddamn kids. You know, my daughter stopped him mid-sentence and was like, Daddy, why are you being mean to my mom? Why are you talking to her like that? Instantly, I was like, this child at 6 years old. Now, mind you, the same age I was when I saw my grandfather do what he did to my grandmother. Remember what I said earlier in the video? That breath, I said, this will not be that moment for her. That moment when she goes, my daddy did that in front of me and my mom didn't do anything. That will not be the last deep breath she takes. Mm-hmm. I checked out. That was the first time I told myself no. I was like, oh no, this is not okay. No, you will never get a second chance to do that. No, this will not be her life. No, she will not grow up thinking this is normal. Her sister will not grow up thinking this is normal. Her brother will. That was my first no. Mm-hmm. And it set me on a path to be like, yeah, I'm done. And most people think that I left because, you know, it was a scene. What's love got to do with it? And it was traumatic. And I was running down the street. No, it was my child sitting there going, if I stay, I have signed her name on a contract she never read. I am setting her up for a life where abuse is going to be normal. It's going to be okay. And she would be just like me, because it wasn't so much what my grandfather did that changed me. I accepted that he was a monster. It's what my grandmother didn't do that changed me, because the next day she got up and made my grandfather breakfast like nothing ever happened. And we never talked about it. And life went on. And him being a Baptist preacher, like I remember him sitting at the table with his eggs, his toast, his juice, his sausage, and a Bible. And I thought, even at a young age, is he praying over them damn eggs after he was just beating my grandmother? Yes, like this cannot be real.
Something's wrong with that.
Something was wrong with it. So I knew in that moment that in my daughter's own way, that was her. I got to see myself in her, like, wow, you have the ability right now to say no to this. It does not have to be a generational thing. And that's when I left those two little letters. No, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
So what advice do you have for other women struggling with mental health issues arising from abuse?
First, I would say unconditional love. Be okay with your shortcomings, because here's the beauty in your shortcomings. They're not at all. There's that. I have a mantra I created for myself. I have cracks, but I'm not broken. Mm-hmm. My cracks are the way that the light of God shines through. Mm-hmm. My cracks are what people are attracted to, because then they go, you know what? She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. She's got some cracks. I got some cracks. But look, she's still going. So be okay with your cracks. And like I said, my mantra, I have cracks, but I'm not broken. You're not broken. So whatever you're going through in the mental state that you're in right now, you have to keep telling yourself that's just a crack. I'm not broken. It's just a crack. I'm not broken. But it's because of this crack, the light will shine through. Being okay with, I'm not okay. Find people in your life that are okay with you not being okay. Don't surround your people with, well, you got to be strong for your kids and you got to pull it together and you got a job and you got this. No, find people in your life that say your kids need to see that part. My kids know. I have a saying in my house, I'm a lay down, but I can't stay down. And that's for them too. Sometimes people have to see you take your cape off. Find people in your life that are like, it's okay that you're not okay. And you have every right to not be okay because of X, Y, and Z. But what you can't do is not be okay with not trying to be better.
Yeah.
That's fine. The ones who are in it right now know that you will come through it at your pace, though. It may take you 5 years. It may take some women 5 minutes. It may take you 30 years. Some women, it takes 30 minutes. Know that your journey is what it is, and quit making mental health this destination to being great and I'm fine and I'm okay. No, guess what? You may be okay tomorrow. You might not be okay in 6 months, and it may be the same thing that triggers you. And that's okay too, because I think we have this mental block of thinking, as long as it doesn't trigger you, you're over it. That's never happening. Never happening. For some of us, the trigger may be the person that violated us. We may go to the funeral, and all of those things are going to come to a head. And you may be crying tears of joy, and you may be crying tears of happiness that they are gone, and be okay with that too, because you have the right to feel everything that you feel because you went through it. So know that whatever you feel is justified. But here's another mantra that I created for myself, though. Your past pain is not a justification for your present misery. And you have to know that. Because sometimes our past pain, we justify why we're mean, why we're angry, why we don't trust, why we don't like people. Those are all things we can control. So that's not a justification. The pain that we went through, we can't control that. That was another flawed person. But what we do with that pain, we're fully capable and in control of. When you get there, that's the key. When you get there, not when Kelly got there, not when Drea got there, not when Iyanla got there, not when Oprah got there. When you get there,
on your own time.
Give yourself, give yourself that time. Give yourself. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My spiritual counselor, she said to me last week, she's like, Kelly, moving on is not healing, but healing is moving on. And I was like, wait a second, I need to think about that for a minute.
That was deep.
I was like, but because it's what I do. It's like, I think because I've moved on from it, that I'm healed until I'm triggered, and then I'm right back there. But when you heal from it, then you can move on, and you may or may not continue to be triggered, but now you know how to deal with it. It's not like, oh my God. It's more just like, oh, okay, this is going on. I acknowledge it, but no, you no longer control me. I'm going to keep moving forward.
Right. It doesn't last as long.
Yeah.
And some people think that as long as, like we said, if it triggers me, I'm not over it. And that is so true, because moving on is not healing. Like, sometimes moving on is pretending. Sometimes moving on is forced, especially if you're a mother, if you're a wife, if you're a businesswoman, if you have employees, you're almost forced to, because it's like, your employees don't want to hear that, because you need to get up and get to work, because people are relying on you for them to have paychecks. You need to get where your kids need you to get out the bed, because you got to cook, get everybody to school. So you got to move on with your husband. So we're forced sometimes into those situations. Like you said, moving on doesn't necessarily mean healing, because sometimes that moving on is forced.
Yeah.
Because I believe if some of us had it our way, honey, we would put blackout curtains up, put a refrigerator in our room so we ain't even got to leave, and one of them little hot stoves you get at them little raggedy hotels, so I can cook in my room, lay in my bed and eat, and never come out, if we had it our way.
And a case of Prosecco, just for good measure.
Yes, just in case, for libations. Yeah, just in case.
So, this has been a great conversation. I think so many women need to hear what you have to say. And your message, your journey, it is inspiring. Because when I'm looking at your Instagram, and I'm looking at what you're doing, and you did this live the other day, and you were dancing, and I was like, get it, you are so cute. I was like, yes, I love it. I'm like, I just need, you know what? You inspired me to dance again in a way. Because I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I forgot. I mean, I stopped being, I put dancing aside because I could not do the starving artist thing. I was, going on auditions and going on tour and doing all of that thing. And I was go-go dancing and trying to hustle up all my money. And my dad's like, why don't you just go get a 9 to 5? You can have that steady paycheck and paid vacation and health insurance. And I went, okay. So I put dance down and I went to corporate, spent 15 years in corporate, wasn't happy there. And then in 2018, decided I'm done with corporate. I'm going to start my own business. I am a healer. I am an herbalist. I have all of this training. Why am I still working in corporate, not doing
that? Yes.
And so I did, and now I have this magazine, and I'm putting it out there. But I forgot how my first love was dance.
Yeah.
And even still, I take this cardio dance class on Monday nights, and it started off as just this little. It's just a little form of exercise to me. I run in the mornings, and my little cardio dance class was, just my little fun. But the same group of people keep coming, so she just keeps upping the difficulty on the choreography. Last night I went, wait, no, I really got to count down. I was like, I got to count out loud. Wait, this is turning. Are we auditioning for a remake of Fame here? Because
maybe she went in.
Fan kicks. What the F? But it felt so good. And I was like, I miss this. I don't know what I'm going to do about this, but I need to keep dancing. I need to remember how to dance.
Because it's what takes care of you. Your healing is what you do that takes care of others. Dancing is what you do that takes care of you. And that's what I had to realize. Like, Drea, that dance is for you. That takes care of you. That's that little girl. That's that thing that chose you. Now you're energized, filling my tank. And as dancers, that dance studio, that's where we go to fill our tank. Choreography, movement, fill my tank. Now I have something to give to everybody else. It makes you a better healer. It makes you a better herbalist. Like, it makes everything better because now you have something that you plug into. Because people have to healing work. When I say I love it, couldn't imagine not doing it, being an advocate. But when I tell you, it is something that pulls from the deepest parts of you that you don't even realize. Like, after I speak, I literally have to go to my hotel room sometimes, and my manager, Eric, will tell you, I have to go to sleep.
You're drained.
Because you're so drained and you've given and you've tapped in and you don't even realize. Sometimes you meet people that tell you a story that trigger you, that you're like, yo, I forgot about the summer of '89. And when they said that, it made me remember that birthday party. And now you're like, okay, stay focused because you're here to help others. And then you're triggered. And now you're trying to talk yourself off the cliff or talking the whole room off the cliff. And you have to go back to the room and be like, oh my God, I need to lay down. What's going on?
Great.
Yeah, so that dance is that thing that you have to do, but people don't. Movement, when I tell you, is the best thing that you can do. Like you say, we try not to say dance because people get so freaked out because they think exactly what you said, band kicks and grunge your ties, and they're like,
like,
movement. Just move.
Or even just, I'm also a runner. I do triathlons as well. So I run, I swim, I bike, I dance, I do yoga. I'm all about movement. And I can tell you, there is nothing more therapeutic. If I can't be in my space dancing, the next best thing is there's this little trail in Manhattan Beach called the Chip Trail. And when you're on it and it's dark, it feels like you're in the woods. I'm telling you, I get up at 4:00 in the morning every day, and I meditate and I work out. When I am running at 5:00 in the morning through that trail on those woods, I'm in some magical forest somewhere, and it's just me and the pounding of my feet on that trail, and I am in some kind of heaven.
Yes.
Yes. And there's nothing. It's like the movement. It's so healing. It's like, okay, I get to, if I'm angry, I'm running. I'm running. I'm sprinting like I'm trying to catch FloJo. Okay. If I'm sad, there's something about some Prince when you put it on. I can move to that. I can dance. I get lost in it. I forget about whatever was bothering me, whatever is stressing me out. And it's like when you do that extension, and that it's like the energy just comes out of your hand. And it's like, it's just a release. You're just like, okay, I can do this now. I'm okay. It's like,
yes.
You know,
It is. It's that energy that comes out of your body. You're like, okay, give it away. Okay, bring some back. Okay, give it away. Okay, take some back. When I say I feel you, because I'm a like bike rollerblade girl. I feel you. Your emotions, honey. Sometimes when I'm mad and on that bike, you really are going at top speed, like you robbed the bank. Like I gotta get away. And sometimes you're just on that like, oh, look at the tree. Oh, look at the birds. Look at the clouds. You're kind of just on this little street. You feel like a toddler on a tricycle.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is great.
Just in your zone.
Yeah. So people need to realize movement is really attached to emotion.
Yeah.
And you will find that even in your dancing. Sometimes you are going full throttle, flash dance in your circle, hair sweating. And then sometimes you're like, oh, I need the motherland. I just need to get into the earth. I need that rhythmic movement. I need to slow down my breathing. And sometimes you like DMX, you like, what up, yo? That's the last time I'm going through that with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it.
Yes.
It's all connected to emotion. And that is so important with mental health, like you said, being in tune with your emotions and being okay with whatever those emotions are for that day. But I would please implore people, whatever those emotions are, connected to movement, like we said. And if that means the happy dance, the sad dance, the speed walk, the jog, the sometimes I see people and I'm like, yes, try it. Because they tried, and honey, that is not even a full-on run, and they're just getting it. And I'm like, whatever it is, it must be a good day. Yeah, they like, that's a try. Then you see some people focus, getting it, arms pumping. I'm like, yes, whatever. And I'm so much like you because we're dancers. We see dance and movement in everything. I pay attention to the way people walk. Well, I'm like, man, they must be thinking something real intense because you can see them breathing and walking. And some people are just gingerly moving about. Like, yes, girl, in slow motion in real time. I'm like, honey, life is good. I just got that job.
No, they're in their own zone and they're in their happy place just by the way that their body is moving.
Yeah, yeah. So pay attention to that. Pay it. And when you sleep, people need to pay attention in your mental state. You will know where your body is, how it feels when you wake up. If you go to bed tense, I notice if I'm stressed or if I'm dealing with insomnia because I've been triggered, I ache when I wake up. But if I meditate before I go to bed, deep breathing and relaxation, you get up and you feel renewed and refreshed and like.
But it does. When you sleep, that's your body's time for healing.
Yeah.
So if you're stressed and you're holding all of that in, your body can't do its job, right? It's busy trying to get rid of all the stress and all that extra cortisol hormone that is generated because you're stressed. Instead of rebuilding, replenishing, releasing, it's busy trying to clean up your mess of your stress. So you don't get to rest. So you wake up tense and with stiff neck, my back hurts, got bags under my eyes, you know, and you generally feel like crap.
You do. So, and for me, I knew that it was correlated because a lot of my trauma and abuse would happen at night. So my body was programmed for trauma at night. So it was very difficult for me to sleep because my body knew, okay, it's nighttime. That means something bad should be happening. Even when it didn't. Even when I left my body, I suffer still from insomnia because my body has been trained to believe that nighttime is equivalent to trauma and abuse and stress. So my body's already prepared for, all right, what's about to happen? And nothing happens. And so I had to get better with and getting deeper into meditation and paying attention to that. And for some people, listen, don't beat yourself up. Even if that means that you have to sleep with the TV on, but be careful what you're watching. Watch love stories, watch things about comedy, watch documentaries about self-help and improvement and meditation as you're sleeping so that now you can start to correlate sleep with something peaceful, something happy, something meaningful until you can get to that place. Because I think a lot of women, and I won't just say women, because men can be abused too. Like my saying is, honey, a cast iron skillet can crack open the skull of a female just like a male. Okay, yeah. A bullet goes through the flesh of a female like it does a male. Yeah. A knife can pierce the side of a female like it does a male. And sometimes for them, it's a little bit harder because how do you go into a police station? First thing, oh, you a man, you can handle her. How big is she? And then it becomes this joke. She what? That little woman cracked your head, man. Please, that won't happen. So where do they go? Yeah. How do you go tell that story? So that's another interview we'll do too about men, mental health and abuse. But yeah, just setting yourself up to realize it's okay. I'm triggered. This is why. And how can I handle it? And it may take you a couple times. Just a disclaimer, Drea Kelly has not mastered it. I am still working on it. I still get triggered. As beautiful as this interview is, honey, it might happen tomorrow. I don't know. But I have, listen, that unconditional love I have for myself is now, I know what it is. Like you said, I can recognize it. I know how to deal with it, and it doesn't last as long. But will it ever go away? It probably won't. That's just the honest to God truth. And I'm okay with that. And people have to be okay with saying, you know what, this is something I'm never going to get over, but I will learn how to coexist with it.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I so appreciate it. You have such an amazing story. And like I said, you're such an inspiration, both as a survivor, as a woman, as a dancer, as a businesswoman.
Thank you, love.
No, you're amazing. I was so excited to talk to you today. So thank you again. I've just
well, kudos to you, boo, for doing the work, because this is not pretty work. This is like your dad said, get your 9 to 5. Why do you want to deal with people, their emotions and stress and starve? Well, Daddy, it's changing the world. So thank you. And just thank you for giving me another platform to share my story and inspire whomever, women, men, children, people in it, out of it, transitioning like this. I wish we had more journalists, because you are a journalist. I don't know if you put that on there, like you, that really, like I said, are not doing it because they want their curiosity satisfied, but because they really want to know about the healing. So thank you. And I'm blessed and honored that you chose, because you could have picked anybody, honey. You picked the whole brown girl from the South Side.
Well, you, like I said, I wanted to hear your story. I did not care about the details, and that's none of my business. You know what I mean?
Right.
I figured enough people were hitting you up about that, trying to get those details out of you. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something positive and something that brings in the light, that lets in the light and can be inspiring for someone. And we don't need those details to be inspired by your story.
No, because we all know how horrific it is, but what we don't know is, how do you do a thing called life after? That's what we don't know. So thank you for going against the grain. When everybody's going right, you went left. Thank you. And kudos to you, Queen. You better run your queen, Yeah.